So, I recorded this video yesterday, but since then, Riot released a post where they explained one thing that confused me in Hwei's voice lines. You'll see that there is a point where the voice lines get titled light or dark, and I get confused. Well, now we know that this is a brand new kind of a voice line which Riot is trying to put into the game. Basically, Hwei has a random chance to fire a string of lines. These can randomly be the light versions or the dark versions, which kinda represents his complicated mind. And depending on whether Jhin is in the game and whether he is an ally or an enemy, those lines get further augmented. But the key aspect of these is that they link together and they paint a broader picture. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to point out before we jump in. Riot is experimenting with new kinds of voice lines which tell a story throughout a game. So with that explained, now let's hop into Hwei's voice lines. Thanks to skin spotlights. Which means it is time to go old school.
See? Who needs legs? Don't worry, I still have my pajamas though. So this is gonna be a little bit of a hybrid between a reaction and me actually explaining these voice lines. I mean, you can just pretend I am a streamer for a moment, which I am. I stream every Sunday and Wednesday, though I skipped 2 days because I got sick. Anyway, besides just the teaser, I haven't even properly heard Hwei's voice, so I'm very interested in how this is gonna go. Because so far, the past few champions have actually been all really good. I mean, Necrit and all things considered Briar have been great. Though one complaint these two had was that there wasn't enough interactions with other champions. Especially with Necrit not really diving into the entire Darkin background. So here we go with a reaction to Hwei's voice, who is totally gonna avoid all kinds of mistakes.
Jhin, you opened my eyes to so much. I won't spare you from any of it.
Okay, so this is the line we first got in the post. Even though we still don't have Hwei's bio, it is teasing that Jhin marched into the artistic temple and murdered everyone. And by doing so, in a really creepy way, he managed to inspire Hwei. Which is why I am really looking forward to getting his full story.
I know your power, Syndra. The depths of your hurt and rage.
Alright, so he actually knows about Syndra? I mean, it makes sense for a scholar of some kind to know about what's happening around Ionia. But Syndra was purposefully locked away below Phalor, which was an Ionian fortress that was overtaken by Noxians, and then stuff happened. And Syndra floated away into the distance. The point is, even in my previous video, I kinda joked that Syndra's story is a bit similar to Hwei, where just like him, she has some kind of a hidden power, and her masters purposefully pushed her away from it because it is so dangerous. So on the storytelling perspective, it makes sense why these two champions would relate. I am still interested in knowing how much does he actually know about her though.
Something still grieves in you, Ari. White like clouds and ice.
So this one is actually interesting because in case you don't know, Ari actually fell in love with an artist in the past. And then she consumed his soul. So it's kinda interesting to see Hwei's perspective on this.
Shrouded in twilight hues, will you rise again or set for good, Akali?
Okay, so I don't think Hwei is gonna have an issue with not enough interactions. I am surprised about all of these so far, because none of these really strike me as related to his story. Then again, we'll see what his bio tells us. What is kinda interesting is that he says that Akali is shrouded in twilight hues, by which at first sight he might be referencing all the stealthiness. But remember that Riot teased that maybe Hwei sees reality a little bit differently. Kinda like how Jhin sees murdering as artsy. So maybe he actually sees the influence of the spirit realm in her. Because remember, the Kinku ninjas are all about striking balance, and so they are dealing with a lot of spirity stuff.
Ionians know the contrast between light and dark. Where do you fall?
This one is kinda generic, it may be referencing so many different things. From the Kinku dealing with the physical realm and the spirit realm, to some of them dealing with the shadow realms. And then you also have the Ionians fighting the Noxians. I mean, this entire region is just split in half.
We turned art into weapons, Irelia. What would our families think?
this is a cool reference, because Irelia's fighting style has a lot of the dancing included in it. And I assume dancing is a form of art. So in a way, these two have similar fighting.
The spirit of Ionia can't guide me, Karma. I need to follow my own light.
And again, this is something that Rad referenced in the past. Hwei knows about the dark and the light, he has seen both, and he's kinda trying to find his own technique in the middle. Would it be cool if the light side was the spirit of Ionia, referencing Karma, and the dark side were demons?
Cain, blue and red bleed from you.
I mean, this is really cool artsy reference. Obviously, this is talking about him possibly becoming the master assassin, or Rast overtaking his body. And it's interesting to see that somehow Hwei can see that inside him. It is totally not because of some demonic influence.
The eyes do reveal you, Kennen. Wild and wise.
This one is strange, because this one could mean so many things. I mean, Yordles are already quite magical, so maybe his perception of him is just different? But also, Kennen simply says, the eyes never lie. I am pretty sure that's what this is actually referencing. Unless it is also a reference to the Eye of the Storm. Kennen has a lot of eyes around him for no real reason.
We've seen ashes fill the sky, Yi. I wish we could leave those gray mornings behind.
So, this is actually a reference to the Noxian invasion of Ionia. I'm pretty sure the ashes filling the sky is referring to the war, where, as you may know, Yi took a big part. Which only now made me realize that, unless I'm mistaken, Jhin was released from the prison during this invasion, so that he would act as a form of a weapon. And if he then traveled to the temple where he met Hwei, then yes, maybe all of this tragedy is gonna line up around the invasion. Regardless, now I am expecting at least something in the bio to reference the invasion.
Let me into your circle, Set. You have information I need.
That's an odd one. By circle, he's obviously talking about Set's arena. But we still don't know what info Hwei is really looking for. He is looking for Jhin, that we know for sure. He's trying to get some answers after he blew up his temple. So maybe that's what this is?
Shen, you've grown blind to sorrow, to joy, to life.
Look, someone has to keep the spirits in check. But yes, this is actually something that was referenced in the story in the past. Shen kinda became emotionless as he took on the role of the Eye of Twilight, because he needs to be certain about the equilibrium. He is fighting spirits whenever they are messing with humans, and he's killing humans whenever they are messing with the spirits. Emotions cannot stay in his way.
Sona, your music is your voice. Speak with me.
Look, Sona also had a reference to fiddlesticks. So I'm just happy these two can talk to each other. Or communicate.
Misery loves company, doesn't it, little one?
I mean, again, he's all about depression. Vex could very well be his best friend. Also, get out of here with that old Mordekaiser quote.
Guilt covers us layer by layer, Yasuo.
I mean... Oh no. Rad did tease that Hwei did something bad using his artsy magic. On accident, but he still did. So you know what, yes, the bio will probably reveal that, not everything went great with him. And that was before Jhin blew everything up. And of course we know that Yasuo is in a similar boat where everyone thought that he murdered his own master, which he didn't, and then... Yone popped up. Twice.
We carry our burdens with us, Yone. My mind, your mask.
Yeah, speaking of Yone, there's not much to pick apart here. I'm just still amazed he actually has so many interactions with other champions. I'm not gonna lie, this is exactly what people asked for.
We have a lot in common, Zed. Step out of the shadows and see for yourself.
This is what I referenced in the last video. Just like Syndra, Zed also has a similar story to Hwei. All of them have some kind of a power, in Zed's case it is revealing the shadow technique, and their masters are always pushing them away from it because it is dangerous. And here Hwei pretty much confirmed that, yes, that's kinda what's happening. This is not our first rodeo with this kind of a story, but Zed is a bit special. Because the shadow technique is highly related to Nocturne. That's unless something got retconned again. Because during the Rune Wars, the Shadow Mages dabbled in the Shadow Realm so much that their emotions pretty much spawned Nocturne in the Shadow Realm, with Nocturne being a demon, and with Hwei likely evoking the powers of the demons with his magic. So that's likely what these two have in common.
Jhin, that was beautiful.
I don't know. I mean, they said that Hwei was kind of fearful and fascinated at the same time. They both have the reality around them skewed with their artsy vision, don't they?
Close your eyes, Jhin. Lie by the fire you started.
This is a cool one. Because again, Jhin kinda murdered everyone at his temple. And by doing so, he revealed to Hwei how destructive art can get. And as far as we know, this evoked a new kind of artistic vision inside Hwei. So yes, this is actually a fire that Jhin started.
Cain, if you just allowed yourselves to blend.
Together? Hold on, this is an interesting, strange, and really cool idea. Would the optimal way for Cain to actually work together with Rast? Is this what he's trying to tell us? Oh, now they are teasing something for the future, aren't they?
Rest ye. You're with your people again.
Oh, this is a reference to an old story I remember.
Art, life, death, all I've seen, all made clear.
He's turning into Jhin here.
Leave everything to my imagination.
And again, Riot teased that he may not see reality as it really is. His imagination may be making things a bit prettier.
Every question, every burden, every vision, I'll lay them out here.
This is another thing that Riot said in the post. Apparently Hwei has some kind of an urge to really just express himself. Again, according to the theories that people have on the internet, it is possible that maybe the demonic forces are kind of pushing him into that. And this would definitely line up with that.
None of us will leave unchanged. I'll make sense of our suffering.
Oh no, this is what Jhin is doing. He's turning the end into something pretty.
Something dark clings to me, has always lived in me.
Again? Might be demonic, but what do I know?
Something dark clings to me, has always lived in me. You brought it to light, Jhin.
What do you mean first move Dark Jhin? The previous one was just dark? So this means that if Jhin is in the game, he has, you know, this altered version of it? But why is there a first move and then first move dark? Is there a different way to trigger this one?
There is light in me. I can't lose sight of it.
Again, according to the latest theories, if he is dealing with multiple demons, the Serenity part of his spells could be Ashlash, which in this case could be the light. Unless all three of the demons are the darkness and the light is just him being a human, dealing with it. Who knows? The post said that Riot is keeping his story vague on purpose, because they want people to come up with theories.
There is light in me. I can't lose sight of it. Not when you draw out my darkness, Jhin.
And now there is light, Jhin? I am so confused about this one. I really want to know what the heck is happening here.
Ionia has an underworld, black as ink. I stare into the well, and it stares back.
Oh, I don't know about this one. Ionia has an underworld? That does kind of remind me of Ashlash, who is a demon that's underneath a kingdom, just elsewhere. Maybe there is the demon of despair underneath Ionia? Oh, now I'm intrigued. Again, I don't believe Riot is gonna put any of this into his bio, because they purposefully wanna make everyone go into theories.
Koyen is so far from me now. An island of sand, blotted with ash.
An island of sand. See, Koyen is where Hwei is from. And as I theorized, it should be around the south of Ionia. You can't find it on the map for some reason. That could be because they said that the island is really tiny. But if it is an island of sand, it would fit some of those wasted islands in the south. So maybe I was right about that one.
A single morning changed everything. So red with blood, flames, and flowers.
Yep, that's Jhin. This is what Jin's victims talked about in the comics.
The sky isn't blue, and the grass isn't green. Nature stirs in hues I can't name.
He can see magic. I mean, that's nothing new. He kind of referenced that in all the other lines before. Especially when talking about Akali, also being in Twilight Hues.
Stop moving, please. You'd make a great still life.
Oh no, he's turning into Jhin again. Oh no. I don't like this one anymore.
My light grows brighter. Don't look away, Jhin.
Now, is his ultimate actually changing visually as you put more points into it? If that's the case, then all of this is really cool. If not, I'm just slightly confused.
That darkness takes shape. Jhin, face it with me. I see destruction and despair.
What about Serenity? See, he just mentioned 2 demons. What about the third one?
I see destruction and despair. Our shared vision, Jhin.
Okay. There is no way Jhin is also gonna get related to a demon, right? I mean, it would explain so much. It would explain why Jhin also sees killing as art. It could be the demon of despair or whatever is under Ionia that's altering their visions. Maybe it's not just that Jhin is a crazy person. Maybe there is a little bit of a reason behind it. But I am afraid this will change Jhin into something he's not. Because people always loved that Jhin was just nuts. And he saw everything as pretty because he was mentally ill. If it turns out there is a demon behind those thoughts, I don't know what people will think about this one.
Your final sight! See as I see! Feel with me!
These lines are so good. I don't know who the voice actor is, but these are so well done.
No justice, no revenge, only clarity.
Ooh, this is a reference to what Jhin did. Again, this was teased in the last post. It was revealed that even though Jhin murdered his masters, Hwei is not really mad at him, because all he did was reveal more of his artistic side. So he's not looking for revenge when he finds Jhin. He just wants to learn more. That's what this line is about.
Emotions are most dangerous when silenced.
Now this one raises questions. Because again, remember, emotions are heavily connected to demons. They evoke them, they feed on them, they use them for all kinds of malicious things. If you suppress your emotions, wouldn't the power of a demon go down? Is this even related? What is Riot doing to us? I love this kind of vagueness, but I also hate it. He is an anime man. But yes, that's it for the voice lines. As you can tell, Riot is very purposefully keeping everything vague so that people go insane. That's on purpose. And now I am really interested to see his bio. Because there are so many questions I want to dive into, but at the same time, I kinda hope the bio doesn't tell us. I love how Riot didn't mention demons a single time, and people already started piecing things together and they started theorizing. This is honestly the best part about being in a lore community. It is people coming up with crazy theories that just work way too well, and then Riot never confirming it. This is kinda how Kindred were for a very long time. Until Legends of Runeterra kinda threw a spade in that one. But yeah, this kinda proves to you that you don't need a lot of story to have something really interesting. And so far, I find Hwei really interesting. Partially it could be because yes, Jhin is involved, but also it could be that he is indeed evoking the powers of Fiddlesticks too, which is something, as I saw, everyone is enjoying so far. Unless it turns out that the red hand is actually Raum, in which case, oh god, Swain is getting involved too.